Welcome back to the Pesky Report, episode 528, presented by Beyond the Monster. I'm Jordan, joined by Jack and Brian. Boys, we've got some playoff baseball to talk about, and the Red Sox are included in this playoff baseball. It's beautiful. This is the first playoff podcast I've been able to do since taking over the Pesky Report. So, boys, how are we feeling?
Good to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm ready to win tomorrow.
Yeah. Same. So we basically agreed, and by agreed, I made the executive decision that we will only mention the one game of this Tiger series that counted, and that was Game 1. Red Sox come from behind, down 3-0, to walk it off. Obviously, Cedar Rafael is the one who sends the Red Sox to October. He's been doing this all season, where you need a big hit, he comes up, he gets the job done, and he says the coldest shit you've ever heard. After the game, so good on Sadon. Yeah, y'all got. What do y'all think about just that game itself? Were you guys stressing out about how they were going to have to win one of these last two with possibly Scooble going in one of them?
I like the backdoor playoff, where like they lose and then they have to watch TV, and then Nesson has to just stick with the guys that are like, well, I don't know, whatever, and then all of a sudden some other team loses. So it's nice when you actually win. It's just a much better feeling. Yeah,
I remember my first the memory that sticks with me. It's not really the first memory. I don't know why I said the first. I was not 10 in 2016. But when they clinched the division and then Joe Kelly gave up a grand slam to 2016 Mark Teixeira to get gamed, that was fun. It's nice to win and get in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fashion they did it too, it kind of had that playoff feel. And then I got to go watch the hungover Sox the next day. That was, can we not count that against my season record? Can we please?
No, it counts.
It counts.
It counts.
I don't think that's fair.
You should have known.
David Hamilton let off, man.
He's fast. He's supposed to. That's baseball.
What year is it?
I love those meaningless games after they clinch too, where it's like my wife, what she would do is she'd get me Celtics tickets every year for Christmas, and it'd be funny because oh wow, this game is really cheap and the seats are really good. It's yeah, because mathematically they probably have clinched the playoffs and it's the fucking Maine Red Claws. That's why, honey. Yeah. It's and that's the feeling I always get the last game of the season with the Red Sox, where it's what was that? It was 10 years ago. I think they had a guy pitched almost like a no-hitter, Darwinson Hernandez or something or whatever. It was a 6-inning game because of rain.
Oh, DeVern Hansack.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, and it was
DeVern Hansack.
Yeah, and all this weird shit happens, and the same thing happened this year too. I know you didn't want to talk about all the games, but you talk about this last game we had, and it's oh well, this guy minor league or whatever, and just oh he's well now I'm at the big league club, so now it's for real. Now I bring my A game. They're just a really funny quote.
Yeah, how about him lying to get himself that last game? I lied and told him I'd been throwing.
Yeah.
6 2/3. I mean, could have fooled me. He actually pitched pretty well. Again, the Tigers had clinched in Game 2, so neither team really gave a shit. That was the best game ever because neither team really cared if they won. It just kind of happened that the Red Sox ended up winning that game.
I'm just surprised, Jordan, the big letdowns, the collapses that we saw going down the stretch. I was talking to my dad on the way home, and it was how big of a lead did the Tigers have at one point? Wasn't it 12 or 13 games?
15
insane.
and a half over Cleveland.
Yeah, holy shit. And then Toronto, I never took them seriously, but they just would not fucking die. And then these last 2 weeks, it was wait a minute. And then the Yankees almost overtook them, and then it was just what is going on here? And then Houston didn't even make it, right? I mean, holy shit, And I'm not even talking about the National League. I mean, the American, are you scared of any of these American League teams, really? Scared. It's there's some good ones, but I'm not oh boy. If the Red Sox get past the Yankees, it's like we get to play Toronto. That's a fucking gift. That's a gift.
Yeah, I'm not really scared of any team that's in the American League picture, but I do think Seattle's like very clearly the best team in the American League.
Right.
Like of the teams that made the playoffs, like Houston would have had the same kind of weight as Golden State when they make the playoffs. It's like they're going to find a way to get further than they belong.
Right.
Seattle for me just feels like pretty clearly the best of the bunch. Like Kirby, Gilbert, Wood, they're stacked on the pitching side, and they've got guys who've been in the postseason. Randy's like the Jimmy Butler of Major League Baseball, where he's not actually won anything, but he's like he has so many moments in the postseason where he like scares the shit out of you. And then Josh Naylor, just a psychopath, and he stole 30 bases and is fat, so that's awesome. J-Rod, the pretty privileged king. I think that team's probably the best. Like if the Red Sox face the Mariners, I'd probably pick Seattle to win that series. But yeah, I don't think I think if the Sox get past the Yankees, they're very likely going to get to the American League Championship Series, which is good because that means we'll probably see Roman again.
Right, and then once we get Roman, I don't know if Seattle has an answer for that guy.
Does anybody know? Did Anthony get the hyperbaric chamber? Is he sleeping in there for the month so that he gets back 100%?
I don't know, but it seems like Marcelo got stuck in there because he's like suddenly. It seems very. I don't know. I'm starting to think that he might be getting pretty close.
Do you think they? Here's the thing, though. It's like, who does he take the roster spot of if Marcelo would come back? Because it's like it seems like only one of Sogard and Hamilton's going to make it, and like it's easy to say it would be that guy, but with Sogard you get the switch hitting and the positional versatility, and with Hamilton you get the speed. Like I don't see Marcelo starting a game if he's healthy at this point, and it's like I don't know if he brings you stuff off the bench that you necessarily wouldn't want Sogard in that spot instead because of the versatility. Like I want Marcelo in the dugout just to experience it and to be Roman's emotional support Italian. But like
we all need an emotional support Italian. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I would definitely need one tomorrow because I'll be in the Bronx and none of those Italians are going to be emotionally supporting me. They're going to probably kill me. In fact, so.
But it's like, yeah, like I love Cello, but it's like I do struggle to see how he actually fits into the plan in a postseason run this year versus like with Roman. It's like as soon as Roman can play and they feel confident with him playing, he's hitting lead off because they fucking need him to.
Yeah, I don't know how he factors in either. I've been like toying around with it in my head I guess you'll kind of play it by ear. By the time Marcelo comes back, maybe some stuff will be figured out. I mean, we'll see Masa's been playing out of his mind lately. Like the last 15 or so games, he's hitting like 400. He's shown some pop. He's getting extra base hits even when he's not hitting the ball over the fence.
Right.
So it seems like maybe it's Nathaniel Lowe. I know he showed some signs of life towards the end of the regular season, but defensively, you're a much better team with Romy at first and Cello at second than Romy at second and Nate Lowe at first base. But then if we're playing the defensive game, David Hamilton's probably your second baseman and Romy plays first base in that regard because at least Hammy's been playing sort of sometimes. And then Sogard as a bench player makes more sense because you put him in a you got to have contact situation because Marcelo does have a swing and miss problem, or at least he did. It wasn't like he was killing the ball when he got hurt. So maybe it's just a matter of like trying to infuse the team with some vibes, and it's like this dude is like working his ass off trying to get back, kind of like Story last year in Colorado when he like randomly showed up and they're like, this motherfucker's like gonna play again this year. Like that's sick. And I mean, it didn't work, but maybe they're trying it with their emotional support Italian and Marcelo Mayer. I like that. I like that nickname for him.
T-shirt. That's a T-shirt.
That's a T-shirt.
Emotional support Italian. You can have Marcelo and Anthony together.
Yeah, our emotional support Italians. That'll go over well.
I'm still waiting for the Storyland shirt. I think that should have been our first shirt, the Storyland shirt. That nobody else did that. That would have been perfect.
We got to see if he opts out first.
Yeah.
Or if he does opt out, if they tack on the 7th year, which they won't, but imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah. Red Sox win game 1 of the Tiger series. 4-3 was the final score. Again, that was the only game that we really needed to talk about because at that point it kind of became moot. I mean, Houston lost their way out of the postseason anyway. So if the Red Sox got swept by Detroit, Houston still lost enough games for the Sox to make the postseason. So at the end of the day, them winning 2 games only mattered for them ending up now facing the Yankees, as opposed to Cleveland, who ended up winning the American League Central, which is sick. Like, I mean, the only downside of there being 3 wildcard teams is the Tigers don't get lumped in with the 2011 Red Sox for being like the biggest choke, and the '78 Red Sox for being the biggest choke in like baseball history as far as the regular season is concerned, because they went like 10-23 or something over their last 33 games. Like, they sucked.
They got completely bailed out by the format.
Yeah, and they were like the exact opposite of last year's Tigers team, which sold at the deadline and magically became better coupled with the American League completely just deciding they didn't want to make the playoffs as a collective.
Right.
And then this year they got lucky that they were so far ahead that the rest of the American League not wanting to make the playoffs as a collective kept them in the playoff picture when they really didn't deserve to be there in the end.
No, and it's crazy too, because it's like, you don't get me wrong, like, I'm super excited for tomorrow, but like, it is kind of crazy when you have like now, like, what did Cincinnati finish with? 83 wins, and then Detroit doesn't get punished for this. And like, I'm happy for Terry Francona making the playoffs, and I'm happy that they made it over the Mets. This isn't an anti-Cincinnati Reds podcast, because we love Tito, but it's just like, it felt like baseball had perfected the format with the 5 playoff teams and the 1-game playoff. And imagine the level of anticipation and what the viewership would look like tomorrow night if it was a 1-game playoff, Max Fried, Garrett Crochet at Yankee Stadium with everything on the line to advance. Like, it would be one of probably the most watched like non-World Series games in the past like 5 years, I'd assume anyways. And don't get me wrong, the series will do perfectly fine viewership wise, but it's like, I really, really don't like the 6 teams and the buys and all this stuff. It's like, we nailed it with the 5 teams. Like, and I understand it's for the TV money. You get more games, you get the markets, you get all the rights. I get it. To me, it's always been just make the division series a best of 7 instead of a best of 5 and go back to the 5 teams, because we nailed it with the 1-game playoff, and I hate that it's gone.
Can we just thank Jesus and baby Jesus that none of these games are on Apple TV?
Oh, yeah.
Like, thank God. I'm like, if I have to have one more phone call from one of my relatives over the age of 55, who's like, Brian, where the fuck is the game? I can't find it. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I dread when I see Apple TV, I just shut the phone off. Because I know anybody who's like, a little older than me, just they don't know what to do. They can't find it. They don't know where it is. I put it on the Fire Stick. We know where it is. I'm like, listen, just hit this button. But the Apple TV games, and then, I mean, I don't know. I know that there was, what was it Matt was talking about, was the P. Dave. He was going at a guy with it about how he said something about, well, why the hell is the clinching game on Apple TV? What the fuck's going on? And it's like, the Red Sox don't negotiate the national games. That's a whole Major League Baseball thing. But, getting back to the series that we just saw, it was kind of shitty that, people couldn't watch that game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you don't know at that time that game is going to be something, so.
Yeah, and like, I also, like, I know Merloni also put out something like, I really wish I could have been on the call for this, as opposed to, someone who doesn't give a shit. And it's like, yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah, Will Fleming was milking that. He's like, oh, gee, it's awful this game is on Apple TV. Oh, by the way, I do radio. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, the one bright spot of Apple TV games is that you get to play the radio broadcast, although it's on delay, which is really annoying, or at least it was for me. That really drove me nuts.
Do you guys ever do the thing where you can sync it up? Like, if you don't like the local, like I do that for the Patriots games. So I have XM radio, and what I do is I pause the TV and I sync it up, and then you can listen to like whoever you want. Like, if you want to hear Zolak do it.
My mom will do that with the Patriots.
Yeah, because it's so much better than whatever the hell the local Patriots is or whatever. Or if it's like a national game, I'm 100 years old, so I used to listen to like Gino Cappelletti do games like on the radio, just because it was a lot. It was just cool.
Gino was so good.
Oh my God, yeah. It was just so much fun hearing the local guys. I mean, I listened to Sean McDonough since as far back as I can remember. And
I sure wish he could this series.
Yeah, the fact that he still does radio is insane. Like, if people don't realize how awesome that is. But I just,
what series does he have? He actually is calling a game he's calling a series. Is it Cubs?
Yeah,
Padres
Detroit and Cleveland.
Detroit, Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is Arcillo doing games too?
not this series because
Yeah, I would
he's with
assume
TBS.
Right.
Yeah.
Or is he? Yeah, he does TBS for the playoffs.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. And then I think Eckersley did games last year or 2 years ago, which was cool because it was nice to just see him do a game every once in a while. Because I missed him doing games too.
Yeah, this I felt bad. Like it after the euphoria of the Red Sox clinching a playoff spot, like it dawned on me. I'm like, damn, Obi kind of deserved that. Like the ability to call the Red Sox walking off into the postseason. Like he really deserved that. Like I'm not an Obi apologist by any means, but he went on a heater with the team this year. Like there's so many like calls that I'm going to look back on at the end of the once the season's over, whenever that may be. Hopefully, at the end of October, early November.
Yeah, post duck votes.
Yeah, there's so many calls that I'm going to look back on and be like, you know what? Tip of the cap to Obi. Like there have been years where there's very few. There's precious little in the way of great calls. This year he was on one, especially after a certain someone got traded, but that's beside the point.
Well, Jordan, when they have winter weekend, and you talk about the World Series run, you can interview Obi about it, right?
Yeah, I'll ask him. I'll be like, yo, can you just quickly do what your call would have been for Shadon's walk-off? Like when they had Jack Edwards do his call for Game 7 of the Toronto series 2 years ago, when that game was on ESPN only, which I love Jack, but that would have been a tough call given where he was at with his speech at that point. But it was a tough listen. But Obi deserved that.
Yeah.
This was probably his best season, I would say.
Yeah, probably since 16. I think 2016 he was actually really good because I think he really felt the moment with David Ortiz's last season. He had his moments in 18, but yeah, as far as like we're talking wire to wire, probably his best year, at least most consistent.
Who's your second best guy, Jordan, of all the other cast characters they have for TV, radio? Does anybody really else stick out at you that you really like, or?
I mean, it's funny. Jack and I were talking about this while because we went through all the broadcast booths for this postseason and how the Red Sox, even though it's the Sunday Night Crew, it's the worst broadcast booth of the 4 series. And like I don't know how you feel about like Jess Mendoza, but I did not like her on Sunday Night Baseball. But I like Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, so we get the Orioles broadcast booth with Jess Mendoza, way better than the Sunday Night Crew. Obviously, McDonough and Todd Frazier, and then Boog Chiambi and Doug Glanville get what series is that one? That's the Reds Dodgers.
Okay.
As far as like broadcasters, like my favorite broadcaster in the game right now, I'm not counting Orsillo because he's S tier, like nostalgia. Even if he's not the best broadcaster in the game, I don't want to hear any of that noise. He's my favorite. It's too much nostalgia. Joe Davis is my favorite broadcaster in the league. He has been for a while. I don't know if he's like. I mean, and then obviously Gary Cohen is pretty damn good too, which sucks for him that he had to watch the Mets completely spiral out of the postseason. But those are my two.
The only 2 teams that have ever $300 million payroll and not make the playoffs are the Mets and the
Mets again.
I like Brian Anderson a lot. I think Brian Anderson does a really good job also. But yeah, that's the thing is there are actually a decent amount of good options. And then you just kind of get stuck with a lot of these guys where it's like, this is really the best we can do. Like,
yeah, we need to get Jason Benetti on more national games because he's damn good as well. As is the name immediately left my brain. Why can't I think of him?
I know people dunked on Matty V on Sunday Night Baseball, but I would way prefer Vasgersian to the current situation.
Yeah, I think Vasgersian was put in a very bad booth. Like A-Rod and Jess Mendoza just wasn't a good booth. Like we were talking about this before. Joe Davis and John Smoltz sucks. Like I like Joe Davis a lot. Joe Buck and John Smoltz worked. Smoltzy and Davis is not a good pairing. Davis and AJ Pierzynski, I think, would be a good pairing, and I don't really like AJ Pierzynski all that much. But I think they would do well together. It's kind of a prisoner of who's in the actual booth. I think David Cohn is great. I just don't think Ravitch is very good.
No.
Like at any of the games he calls, like he's great for the Little League World Series. I'll give him that. He's good for the Little League World Series. College World Series, definitely would prefer Monaco getting those games every single game. And then I prefer Monaco for the playoffs as well. I'm amazed that he's not doing any games in the postseason. Like that's crazy. ESPN has him do everything. MLB playoffs, no. I mean, maybe he's doing WEI. I don't know, but he should be doing national TV for the playoffs. I thought Monaco was more of like I really liked Monaco in short bursts because Obi was just giving me nothing for a while, and I thought that maybe Monaco just wasn't as good as I thought he was. It was just so much better than Obi, and then like this year, Obi I thought had a great year calling the games. But whenever I heard Monaco on the radio, I'm like, oh no, this dude's he's just got it. Like he's that dude. He deserves more national TV games. I still can't remember the person I was thinking of earlier when I mentioned Benetti. There was somebody else. Oh well, must not have been that great. Oh well. Tough. Shall we get into the series preview, or do we want to do the superlatives? We'll just go through what our viewers voted for. We can do that at the end, actually.
Sure.
Let's get into the series because that's what most people want to talk about. Most people want to listen to. So yeah, Red Sox get the Yankees. This is since 2003. You have 03, 04. 21 or 18 and 21. So fifth time that the Red Sox and Yankees have matched up in the postseason this century, or do they also match up another time in the 2000s? I don't think so. I don't think the Red Sox made the playoffs in 2000 through 02, right? Sounds right.
Sure.
I don't know. I was 0 through 3, or I was 0 through 2. So I don't remember. I'm dating myself here a little bit, but yeah, so fifth time the Red Sox will play the Yankees in a playoff series / wild card game in the 21st century. We learned today that Lucas Giolito is not going to be on the roster. I didn't see that it was because he was hurt. The first report I saw only mentioned that he wasn't on the roster, and I was like, "That's insane. That takes some serious balls." But he is actually hurt, and saw an orthopedic surgeon about his elbow. Hopefully, that is just covering all bases situation, but it would explain the dramatic decrease in velocity in September, the erratic command. It felt like every single start by the third inning, he completely had lost it for at least the last handful of times he was out there, which is crazy because in his last 9 starts, his ERA was just over 3. But Jack, how do you feel about Giolito not getting or being left off the roster due to injury, and then who do you think ends up starting Game 3?
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal by any means because, we talked most of this season about how, especially once we hit like July, where it was Crochet, Bayo, Giolito, and Prey. We had the 3 guys, and beyond that, it was like, well, we're going to throw darts and hopefully the offense scores enough, or we get, some devil magic and these guys perform and, make it work, whether it was when they had Bueller, whether it was, we were discussing the Sean Newcomb era, and then, trading for May and all these guys who have cycled in along the way. And so, I mean, best case scenario, you take care of business. You sweep this series, and we don't have to even think about who's starting Game 3 if Crochet wins tomorrow and Bayo wins Game 2. And those are your 2 best options anyway to start those first 2 games. And, if you don't win Game 1, I don't see any way you win this series. So you really do have to win this Crochet game. If you don't win the Crochet game, I find it very hard to win this series. And I think, gun in my head, I think it has to be Connolly early based on the way he's performed. I understand how many big league starts has he made to this point? 4. yeah, this would be his 5th big league start. I know that's a lot to ask. I know the Mets are asking a lot of their young guys as well, or they would be. They didn't make it, but you gotta see what you have. And at this point, you don't have a better option than early on the roster right now, because you look at the other things. It's Kyle Harrison, it's Peyton Tolley, it's Brendan Bernardino opener.
Maybe.
Jack, who's your number 4 then, Jack? Would Kyle Harrison be your number 4?
Well, I'm worrying. Well, luckily we only need a 3 because it's 3 games, and I'm praying Giolito's good to go for the DS. And if he's good to go,
but Kyle Harrison is next in line, right? He's the guy.
Yeah, I think it has to be, or it just is. Just say fuck it, Bernardino opener into Harrison, into Tolley, and I know it doesn't feel good, but like none of these options are really that. But yeah, I think it has to be Harrison probably.
Yeah.
Just due to lack of anything else. I wish Criswell was healthy. Like I think, and obviously I know he hasn't faced big league hitters in forever, but I kind of wish Criswell was an option you could have used down the stretch to see where he's at.
Did they make a final? I probably missed it, but Perales is definitely not. He's done.
Doesn't seem like
because they were. He was on the fast track in the bullpen, and they were like highlight. Hunter was like, posting highlights like he's never been before. He's like, which is awesome because that's what he does, But I was like, is he going to be a bullpen guy? Is he? It never happened. Yeah. But it's basically going to be early and then Harrison, and then you're right. Then it just a hodgepodge of whoever works, right?
Yeah, because Dustin May is not getting free.
No.
Like I'm sorry, James Tibbs, that you amounted to nothing. Yeah, because I would like to have James Tibbs as a trade piece this offseason, but we don't.
Yep.
And no, it's not ideal because you need Giolito most likely if you're going to actually win the World Series. Like if he's done for this thing, like it becomes sketchy. Even if he's not your best pitcher, you need innings, and he can provide you innings. So
and he hit the innings limit to
yes.
But does that mean that? Refresh me, Jordan. You know more about this than I do. Is it now a team option or a mutual option, or what did he trigger exactly?
It's a mutual option. So in other words, he earned the right to free agency by getting to 140 innings. Although if he's hurt, the Red Sox are not going to accept their half of the mutual option if he's really got an elbow issue.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just kind of a case of dead arm, and like maybe a week he'll be fine. Yeah. Even if he misses the DS, like you need him for a best of 7.
Yes.
Right.
Because if you end up in the ALDS, it'll be against Toronto. Toronto doesn't strike out. They don't really chase a whole lot. And if they do, they make a ton of contact. So I don't think he really is a good matchup for Toronto either. Like, I think it's weird because I was telling Jack, I got to figure out how to say this because I'm not happy he's hurt. Like, let me make that abundantly clear. I am not happy he's hurt. But I just think he is a bad matchup for both of these teams, especially the game he would be starting.
Okay.
Obviously, if he swept this series, he'd be starting game 1. Against the Jays, and that's fine. Like if you I don't want to say throw that game. It's a playoff game. You don't throw any fucking game in the playoffs. But if you lost game 1 of a best of 5, it's not the end all be all. Like you're not shocked. Like if they lose tomorrow, I think they win game 2 no matter what. But if they lose tomorrow, I don't see how they win game 3. Schlittler's just the perfect, I will eat the Red Sox alive starter. Like Luis Gil had success against the Sox this year, and he sucks. Like he's not very good.
But he won Rookie of the Year, Jordan.
Yeah, he shouldn't have, but he did. It's like Ben Simmons winning it over Tatum. Stupid shit. Should have been Willier. It honestly should have been Austin Wells over Luis Gil.
Or Colton Cowser.
Or Colton Cowser. You are absolutely right. But yeah, I don't think Giolito, the game, I don't trust the Giolito I saw in September to pitch a winner-take-all game. The postseason gets really short, and in a winner-take-all game, we're talking Giolito maybe facing 5 guys the way he'd been pitching. And the Yankees, I know they strike out a ton, but they also hit the shit out of the ball. Him throwing 91-mile-an-hour fastballs, not going to get it done. Him walking the ballpark ahead of Stanton, not going to get it done. Hostile environment. Maybe if the series was at Fenway, I'd feel a little bit different because he could feed off the energy of the home crowd, maybe ramp up a couple miles an hour just on sheer adrenaline. But I think I think Connolly Early's, being the West Point kid, the UVA kid that he is, so regimented. I honestly think if he were to lose game 3, it's not because the moment was too big. It's just the Yankees beat him. I really do think that's really what it comes down to.
Right.
Because, as great as Schlittler's been, he's also a rookie. So you don't really know if he's going to succeed in this
Schlit his
environment.
pants. You're right.
Yeah, he could schlit his pants. Exactly. So you could be talking a bullpen game, and the Red Sox had the best bullpen ERA in the American League this year, and the Yankees were 23rd in baseball. So if we're talking both starters get roughed up in game 3, I like the Red Sox chances getting to the finish line as long as it's close when both starters are out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I think Giolito would have been a bad matchup for this series and the following series anyway. Obviously, hope he's okay because in a best of 7, you're going to need him because I don't think you can afford 3 games going to Connolly Early, Kyle Harrison, Brennan Bernardino, Dustin May, like those guys.
Jordan
Absolutely
Hicks.
not. Jordan Hicks, yeah. I just
Sale.
Chris could be Chris Sale. Never know. I saw that Hall of Very Good tweeted that the Red Sox are going to try and get Clay Buchholz on the postseason roster.
Oh,
could
that'd
be
be
Clay.
awesome.
Could be
they
Dice
got
Clay.
came
Weber.
throughout the first pitch.
He
Yeah.
did. So does that technically count as him being in the organization?
He lives here.
He does live here. He does live here.
Can you imagine how electric it would be? Like game 3 of the ALDS, Dice K going out there, like
Yeah, the first inning would take 4 hours.
Dice K with the pitch clock would go crazy.
Dice game with the pitch clock, the Red Sox would lead the league in pitch timer violations because it'd still be opening day if Daisuke started it with how long it took him to pitch. But yeah, I don't know, Brian. How do you feel? How do you feel with Giolito out? Your overall thoughts on that, and then kind of where the Red Sox go from there. I mean, we mentioned Connolly earlier. We mentioned Kyle Harrison. Peyton Tolle in the mix at all, as far as you're concerned for
I think Peyton Tolle is like a 1+ inning pitcher right now. I mean, just kind of like that first game was just, amazing. But I mean, it's kind of like since then, it's kind of the home runs are a thing because like I think he's good in short stints, and I think he can go through a lineup. I think you can piggyback him with Early. You can have Early do maybe 4+, and then Tolle do your 5th and your 6th, and then you're gonna have to have Whitlock pitch multiple innings or something, and then Chapman pitch your 9th, and hopefully that's enough to kind of get it done, and you can kind of sprinkle in your Matz and your Wilson and your Weiser if the guy's arm is still attached to his body by the end of the playoffs end. But yeah, I don't know. I love Tolle's stuff, but I think the last podcast we did, I think Jordan, you said it. Like, don't be surprised if Connolly Early is a better pitcher than Tolle. Just because he's a better pitcher, he doesn't have a better fastball, but he's got better secondary pitch. He's a better pitcher. He doesn't throw harder, but I think that just kind of, he's got a much better repertoire of pitches. But I love both of those guys on my team.
Yeah.
I have no qualms about having either one of those guys in the future in my rotation. I don't know if that's going to be long term, both of them or just one of them, but not having Giolito as your number 3 guy it really changes things. But like you were saying earlier, September he's been kind of like that guy who first came off the DL and was the guy who was on my fantasy team for a week, and I said this guy sucks. And then he went on his run, and he was really good for a bulk of the season,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because even if he's not like going to require surgery, like this happening right before free agency, likelihood sucks for him. Like it costs him a ton of money, and I know that he's not thinking that right now. He's thinking about the postseason, and
right.
But and like the way he was talking at the end of the regular season about how this is the most fun he's had as a pro. Like it sucks. Yeah. It really must suck.
Right. Well, keeping all that in mind, though, Jordan, if he is hurt but doesn't need Tommy John surgery, do the Red Sox bring him back in a reduced deal because of the uncertainty and because he likes playing here? And you just said it's the most fun he's ever had. So maybe that might work.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we haven't really seen Breslow need to be emotional with a player, or not need to be emotional, but like kind of walk that line between what's best for the organization and then also like I really like this dude. and I really hope he isn't just a flash in the pan as far as like kind of showing a sign of life after a couple of really bad years and an injury riddled season. Like we saw this in 2022 with Michael Wacha. Like he had a really good year. Like his ERA was really good, but everything under the hood said this is a 1-year thing. He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to be really bad, or he's going to be like very mediocre. And he's just been good. Like he just stays good. But like that, there's no guarantee that Lucas Giolito is going to be good down the the next handful of years, especially if the command's as erratic as it is and the velocity's down. And
what's the money to bring him back? What is it?
I still think I'd float him the qualifying offer, and that's kind of it.
19 something or 20 million, or what's the qualifying offer now?
2105, I think. I don't know if it goes up every year,
but I mean that can get you. Let's say you don't bring him back. That's a significant dent in a pretty damn good pitcher, and like what's another 5 or 6 million to bridge the gap, and you get like a top 25 guy. I mean, you're in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah. I
know Jack's best friend, on the Twins, who we threw under the bus and basically says, he's fucking Matt Barnes after, October 1st. Joe Ryan, he's like, whoa, slow the brakes, put the brakes on bringing Joe Ryan to the Red Sox. Jordan and I had that as a done deal like 2 months ago. We're like, oh, he's definitely coming. It's like the crochet thing. It's like you don't give him Roman Anthony in July because that's just clown shoes. You wait till the off season when you can give him something of fair market value and you just tell Joe, hey, listen, you're in Fort Myers already for spring training. Just walk across the street. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, I still think Joe Ryan's a done deal. I really would be shocked if he's not here. It would be a dramatically reduced. It's gonna be funny when the Twins are like, so remember when you were willing to give us Tolley for him, and the Red Sox are gonna be like, his ERA was like 6 after the deadline. Like, of course not.
Yeah,
not gonna happen. He's already like 30, right? So like, no. It's not going to happen. Is he 30? I don't know. I'm the one that said he's 30, but I don't think he's 29 actually. He'll be 30 next year. He turns 30 next June. So I mean, he's not.
Well, he debuted kind of on the older side.
Yeah, he was 25 when he debuted. So I mean, his career ERA is only 3.79. Like it's not like he's. I mean, this year it ended up being 3.42.
And I know we talked about this last episode. I'm getting so increasingly Ranger Suarez filled, and I don't know if the Phillies are going to let him go, but it's like
he's going to cost the Red Sox a draft pick. He's going to get the qualifying offer for sure.
Yeah, but like at this point, how much would you rather have the draft pick from the qualifying offer or the prospects that you gave up for Ryan?
I'd rather have the prospects I gave up for Ryan and get rid of the second round pick or the comp pick, whatever it is. Especially since you're going to be giving, in my opinion, the qualifying offer Lucas Giolito. And I don't know. I mean, he'd probably take it if he's like truly hurt, but if he's not, and he hits free agency, somebody's going to sign him. He had too good of a season to not be signed. Like Pivetta signed. I mean, Pavetta's more talented, but that's beside the point.
Well, I think it's going to be like Pivetta, where it's like he's going to reject the qualifying offer and he's just going to dangle for a while.
Yeah, and it's like February's going to come and he's going to get the weirdest contract we've ever seen. Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think about a year removed with Pivetta by letting him go? And then, I mean, did you see his stats? What do you think? Do you think that was if he was on the team when he, instead of Giolito?
He would not have done that here, but I still would have much preferred keep Pivetta than go for Walker Buehler at the time. And I was never big into the Buehler thing, and obviously it didn't work. I mean, I do think ultimately, we saw that Pivetta signing was their gateway drug to finally getting Bregman because they balanced out the comp picks. And, had they kept Pivetta, maybe they don't get Bregman. So, I can live with that. The guy that just still kills me is, and I know he got hurt, and so who knows how it would have gone. I just wanted Nate back so badly. Yep. It's like if you had, and obviously no idea if he'd be healthy right now if he was a Red Sox or
if they had Nate and Martin. Like I just think this team would have like solved so many problems.
They would have won the division.
Yeah, like this team with Evaldi, I think is definitively the best team in the American League. Definitive.
Yeah.
But I just look in the bullpen. If they had the guys they have plus Martin, you just want to take the pressure off of a lot of guys.
Yeah, imagine replacing Zach Kelly with Chris Martin.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had to like use Chapman like for those stupid games where like you're up
Greg Weiser,
7-1.
97 appearances.
Yeah, and Weiser's like arm would still it wouldn't tingle. He could actually feel his hand. It wouldn't feel like a stranger when he's alone.
Got
Speaking of Shane,
72 games for Weiser this year.
72. Holy shit.
Got his revenge against Javi Baez in game 162 though, so he got the last laugh at the end of the day. So, but yeah, no Giolito for the series. ESPN says it's undecided versus Cam Schlittler in Game 3, but hopefully they don't ever have to decide, and the Red Sox take care of business in these two games. I think Game 2 is going to Boston. I don't think Bayo. People keep pointing to the Red Sox like team OPS in the second half against left-handed pitching. Reminder that Rob Refsnyder missed a very large chunk of the second half. I know he still was like second on the team in PAs against them because they hit him first in the order when lefties come up. Romy also had a really bad, uncharacteristically bad second half against lefties. I think the Red Sox are going to win Game 2. Rodon is not going to beat Brian Bayo. It's not really a hot take. It's just a definitive statement that I am making. And then, again, Game 1, the winner of Game 1 wins the series. It's just how it's going to go. In my opinion, and I'm hoping for our sake, obviously, that it's the Red Sox that take Game 1, and we don't have to worry about what the unknown of Connolly Early or Peyton Tolley or opener plus bulk guy Kyle Harrison, what that's going to look like in Game 3. Jose De Leon, who knows? We have proof that he's thrown recently. So Jordan Hicks comes back, Dustin May comes back, like Steven Matz thrown out there as a starter. Like, we don't have to worry about it, and we can kick the can down the road to Game 1 against Toronto, where then Connolly Early can start Game 1, and we're like, whatever. Like, as low stakes as a playoff game can get, other than being up 3-0 in the LCS. Unless
Jordan, do you have your passport? Can you go to Toronto?
No.
Do you have a real ID?
No.
Jack?
Passport.
Okay, well, so we'll go to the game, Jordan. You can stay here. Because I think we can get in the game for like 30% off because of the Canadian dollar. So it's a good deal.
I forgot about the real ID thing, and then I went on vacation to San Francisco, and like the TSA people were like, "We got one."
You were in California. You didn't use the Screen Actors Guild card that you have?
No, I didn't. No, but
in
Boston, I thought I was gonna get arrested for it. In Boston, I thought I was gonna get arrested. They like looked at me like I was like I had three heads. They're like, "What the fuck is this guy doing with no real ID, trying to board a plane in the year of our Lord 2025?" I'm like, and then they just like swabbed my hands. I'm like, okay, this is really weird.
That series was in June too, so that was literally probably like 2 weeks after that became a rule. You were fresh into it.
I was, yeah.
But they told me
it was the first of the day. My flight was in the afternoon, so
I had to use my ID when I was at McCarran Airport, which is the Vegas airport, and I dropped it, and I didn't realize it, so I'm driving around for like 2 weeks. I didn't know I didn't have my license. Once you're over the age of 25, I mean, how often do you look at your license? I get an envelope that says McCarran Airport. I'm like, the fuck is this? I open it, and it says, "We apologize for asking you for your ID." And then they gave me 2 tickets to a casino, like a hotel, because they want you to come back and they want you to gamble.
We apologize for asking you for your ID.
Yeah. I like this airport. I like that airport. That's my airport. I like that airport.
Here's a ticket to lose all of your money.
Logan would have sent it back to you shredded.
Yeah, the Matt's DOT would have been, hey, well, don't do this again.
Oh, man.
In terms of lineup construction going into this series, obviously facing 2 lefties the first 2 games, I'm curious what combination of guys we end up getting. Like, obviously, Rob's going to be in there, and Romy's going to be playing either first or second. But I am curious whether it's like going to be Sogard at second with Romy at first, or if Lowe plays first with Romy at second. And then also, is Nate Eaton going to factor in the lineup, or is he going to be a bench guy? Like, because Masa's hot right now, so I don't know if they want to bench Masa, but like, Are they going to go Nate Eaton and right? Rob is the DH.
What's their bullpen like? Is it mostly righties after the left-handed starter comes out for the Yankees, though? Because I mean, you could start a bunch of guys, and then you're just going to take them out anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Yankees' only lefty that's like any good out there is Tim Hill. So,
and I do respect Tim Hill. After
Tim Hill's
so many times on this pod where I'm like, I don't respect that guy. I respect Tim Hill.
Yeah, Tim Hill's pretty good. I can't picture another lefty reliever. Period on the.
No, I don't think they have any, unless I'm forgetting.
Yarborough, he's. I mean, the Red Sox.
Oh, I do not respect Ryan Yarborough. Let's be very clear about that.
You just bought the Red Sox them getting the side struck out against Ryan Yarborough in this series. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. I the lineup, you're right, is going to be very interesting. I mean, we've already been told Duran's playing left tomorrow, so I guess today for those listening. So that debate is out the window. Makes sense. I wouldn't have benched Duran anyway. I don't care how bad his numbers are against lefties. He's like the engine of this team, and I know that seems like very boomerish to say, but like I mean, you don't have Roman. Like Duran, you gotta
start talking about batting average.
No, never that again. But like I think, I don't know. I think you got to play a couple of lefties, and for me, I'm playing Massa over Nate Lowe, and I'm gonna roll Sogard at second base. Or I mean, in theory, you could put Eaton there too. You don't have to.
Have they done that this year?
I don't know if Eaton's played second this year, at the major league level, but I know let me see if he's actually. I don't want to say I know he's played second base in his career, because I don't know if he's played second base in his career. Not in the major league level. Glad I checked myself. He's pitched more times in the majors than he's played second. He's actually never. He's played second. He played second base once in AAA this year. So.
Yeah, I'm not experimenting with that in the playoffs. That's a bit risky for me.
Maybe Mark Loretta will come back. Maybe they'll
get it. But Nate Eaton for Game 3 as the pitcher, that's something we now have to entertain.
Yeah, for sure. He throws 95. I mean, Giolito couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's an option.
It is an option. Two-way phenom, Nate Eaton. But yeah, I think for me, my lineup is, I'm not gonna go positionally because my brain isn't working. I've been up since 4. I think it's gonna. I would do Rob, Story, Bregman, Romy, Yoshida, Sadon, Duran. That's 7. Narvaez, and then Sogard.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would. Yeah, I could see that. I could also see them potentially flip Romy and Rob, but it's like, and I could also see Narv and Sadon get flipped in that. But yeah, I agree. I think that's the lineup I expect to see as well, and I kind of think that makes a lot of sense. And then once Fried's out and you get into the righties, then Willier will come in, Lowe will come in, and then you can just mix and match.
Yep, you take Sogard out, Romy goes to second, Lowe goes to first. Lowe would probably hit for Sogard, or I mean, I guess he doesn't have to. And then high leverage righty comes in, and then well, actually, it doesn't even have to be a high leverage righty, really. It's just the first righty that comes in, and Willier pinch hits.
Right, and then also it's like you can afford to carry Hamilton and Sogard in the wild card round because you're only doing a 3-man rotation. So we don't have to solve this problem yet. That's a division series problem. So you're going to have options. And then, you have Eaton if Tim Hill strikes fear in our souls, or if you want either Hamilton or Eaton pinch running late in the game, you got both those guys. And ideally, Connor Wong does not need to enter Game 1. He will be starting Game 2, which scares the shit out of me.
You don't think his first home run's coming off of Rodon in Game 2?
If it does, like, oh my God, if we get the first Wong Dong of the year off of Rodon in the wild card round, like, holy shit.
If the Red Sox make it past the LDS, I do think Connor Wong will have a home run in this postseason. It might be it could be Chris Paul cuts the lead to 42 for the home run, or let's off the Austin Romine of the 2025 playoffs, where it's a position player. But I do think if the Red Sox make it past the second round, or I guess the first official round, the LDS, Connor Wong will have a home run, and he's only going to get 2 games, maybe 3. So
Can Massa do anything to save his time in Boston? Like, how big of a playoffs does he have to have?
he's done enough in September for me to not want him traded anymore. But
I'm so ready for the Steve Pierce Massa run. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so locked in.
That's what I think he's gonna go. Like, do you remember how ridiculous he was in the World Baseball Classic? I think he
Yep.
led Japan in home run in RBIs, right?
Yeah, he hit that home run off of a lefty too.
Yeah.
In the semifinals off of Mexico.
Okay. Yep.
So Yoshida is like he would be such a good Yankee because all those like lazy fly balls he hits into like shallow right field are like 5th row in right at Yankee Stadium. Like he hit that home run off Clay Holmes at Yankee Stadium the last year. Like I really do think Yoshida, like this isn't just me being biased because I love Massa. I really do think he's got a big postseason ahead of him. If the Red Sox, he may not have a big wild card round, but I do think that the Sox are going to make it far. It's going to be not on the back of him, but he's going to have a huge
it's on the
say in it. He's going to have a huge say in how far the Red Sox go.
Is it going to be one game, Jordan, like Jackie Bradley, and they give him the MVP, or is it actually like more than one game? Is it more than one?
Yoshida strikes me as like you know how when the Luis Arraez gets hot, like he'll have like an 8 for 13 4-game stretch with like 6 singles, a double, and like flip a coin for if it's another single or another double for that 9th or 8th or 9th hit. I think it'll be like that. He'll just spray the ball over the field for like 4 games in a row, and like Yoshida being an LCS MVP is like so like I'm gonna bet it if the Sox get there that Yoshida wins it because I am a degenerate at heart and I'm also not smart in any capacity. So I don't think Yoshida is the JBJ kind of LCS MVP. He's more of like the Tommy Edman LCS MVP, where he just randomly goes on a power binge and hits like 470 for the series.
Sure.
There's your batting average.
Steve Pierce is the best comp. I think I'd totally like to see him go. I don't think he's going to go David Ortiz. I don't think he's going to win Fuego, but I think Steve Pierce, I think he could definitely do that.
Yeah, big October for Moss. I mean, the one thing the Red Sox have going in their favor, I mean, outside of it just being like complete unknown, so we're just 1% chance, 99% faith on a lot of these guys.
Yep.
I feel so strongly that the Red Sox are like full of postseason risers. I mean, Bregman's been there, done that. Today's going to be his 100th playoff game. It's insane. But like Cedon, like the most obvious postseason riser maybe in MLB history. I mean, we're talking relative to his regular season, obviously. I think Yoshida's like the perfect postseason riser. I think Bayo is going to be ridiculous in Game 2. Like, I really do think we're going to get like that June start where he went 8, or no, that 7 inning. I think he struck out 8 Yankees. The last game of Devers' Red Sox career, where he went band for band with Max Fried. I think Bayo has that in his bag, and I really do think he's going to be the guy that's like ultra locked in, kind of like Strasburg was in 19 with the Nats. I feel that strongly about Bayo. And then the bullpen, like Whitlock's nasty, Chapman's nasty. They're not really risers; they're fucking gross as it is. Greg Weissert, postseason riser. That'd be fucking hilarious. Probably not, but like the Sox have like a Joe Kelly in their pen. That'd be really sick. Not him specifically, but just somebody that like maybe it's Zach Kelly. No relation, but maybe
that we know of.
That we are aware of. I mean, Baseball Reference doesn't account for it, so that's kind of how I figure it out. But yeah. Do we want to go to superlatives and then come back to the actual what our predictions are going to be?
Sure.
All right. Let's rock. So I tweeted this out on our Twitter account at the Pesky Report. Obviously too late for you guys to vote. Sorry. You have plenty of time. Not our fault. Just a few superlatives for the season. Matt suggested.
I mean, if you haven't voted yet, though, stay in line.
stay in line. Obviously, there could be a massive ballot dump in the next 4 or 5 hours. We'll see what happens after we read
We'll
the
talk to
winners.
Georgia.
We'll talk to. Well, yeah, we'll talk to. I'm gonna move on. Um, but yeah, just a few. Matt suggested that we go back to like our preseason predictions. I don't want to. I did when he suggested. I'm like, that's a great idea, and then I didn't all day, and now I don't want to. I'm too tired for this. It's been 55 minutes. I have a long day ahead of me tomorrow. So, sorry, Matt. It was a good suggestion, but I dropped the ball. I'll own
The
that one.
commissioner got overruled finally.
Finally, for the first time, the commission is the one who ends up upset.
I love too what happened in that. By the way, what happened in that in the fantasy league, it just justice has finally been served.
Wait, what did end up happening? Because I checked out because I was like 8th out of 12. So I'm like, I don't.
It was a tie, and then there was like a stat correction. And he lost by what was it, 2 points, Jack?
I don't know. I'm not in it.
Oh, you're not in it. Oh,
No.
well. Anyway, so long story short,
Corruption's been saved.
Matt screwed me over because I drafted my team, and then somebody, not to throw anybody under the bus, complained, and then strikeouts counted for negative points, and I drafted Kyle Schwarber and built my team around him. So yeah, I was like, okay, well, thanks a lot. And I did pretty good. Came in second in the regular season. I beat Matt, I think, once. I think during the year, but playoffs I got bounced by I think it was Justin or somebody, whoever, but whatever. So yeah, so Matt is the commissioner, was in the finals, which fixed kind of in when the commissioner is playing for the championship. Just saying. But yeah, it was a tie, and then at the last minute they had like some stat correction by Yahoo, and I think he lost by like 2 points or something. So I was like, oh,
damn,
yeah, shucks, Matt. But no, but I love Matt. Matt's a great guy, but that's what happened.
So yeah, we got team MVP. I listed I listed Jaron Duran, Roman Anthony, Trevor Story, and other as the 3 or 4 options. So we got a mixed bag of results here. We got 2 votes for Cedon Rafaela. Garrett Crochet / a misspelling of his name combined to get 4 votes. Roman Anthony came in second. Jaron Duran got 1 vote, or did he get 0 votes? Oh, Duran not popular, as we've now learned throughout the year among a lot of Red Sox fans. But the overwhelming winner, Trevor Story, got 20 votes. I'm not necessarily shocked. I mean, I'll throw it to you guys. Who would you vote for as your team MVP? We don't have to like elaborate. Yeah. We're coming up on an hour, but like, who would you have voted for as your team MVP? I'll start with you, Jack.
I mean, we did this at the deadline, and I said at the time, I'm generally not a pick pitcher as the MVP guy, but in this situation, I really have to. I think Garrett Crochet was just such a stabilizing force on this team, and they would not have gotten anywhere near these 89 wins without that guy in the rotation. He was just, if you take Crochet off this team and replace him with like a pretty good pitcher, this whole house of cards crumbles. And I just think, to me, he was the most valuable guy to this roster.
I think Baseball Reference WAR would also reflect. Actually, Fangraphs WAR reflects that as well. He was the highest wins above replacement on the team. They went 23-9 in his starts. Brian, who would you have picked for MVP?
Yeah, well, I had to agree with George King that pitchers shouldn't get MVP votes. But sometimes you screw Pedro Martinez over in 1999. It happens. But I'm not bitter. But yeah, maybe I like Story. I think it was a great story. He put a lot of numbers together. The steals were just off the charts. But a couple of those throws, to first base in the stands kind of pissed me off at the end of the season. But yeah, I like Jack's thing with Crochet. I mean, it's for a team that like we didn't know what they were going to happen. They got their race. They got their guy. He's going to be their guy in Game 1 against the Yankees, and he's going to show you why he's the MVP of the team.
It's tough because he missed the entire month of September, but my pick would have been Roman Anthony. They went 44-27 in games he played. They were 1 under 500 when he didn't, 17 over when he did. He was awesome. Obviously, he had 3.1 wins above replacement on this on Baseball Reference and just 257 at bats.
Not bad.
It felt like every other day he was breaking some sort of record or being the youngest since this guy. I know in Houston he had a game where he walked 4 times and homered, and he was the youngest since Mel Ott in the 1920s to do that. Like youngest post integration. Dude had a historic rookie season. It's a shame that it got cut short because of the oblique injury. Hopefully the Red Sox survive long enough to get him back, because I do think you add him to the mix, especially because they'll have some momentum winning those 2 playoff series to get him back. Look out, Seattle. I'm with you, Jack. I know you mentioned that at the beginning. Second, I think we can all just agree that it's Garrett Crochet, pitcher of the year. I listed Garrett Crochet, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Whitlock. Chapman actually got 6 votes, but Garrett Crochet was the winner. I think we all agree. You guys just picked him for MVP. It'd be kind of hilarious if you didn't pick him for pitcher of the year. But I don't know.
I thought about Jordan Hicks.
Thought about him. Yeah, for unsung hero, he may have made some sense. Off-season acquisition of the year, again, overwhelming winner was Garrett Crochet, but also there was Bregman, who only got 1 vote. I was pretty shocked by that, even though Bregman didn't have the best, overall season, mostly because of the second half. He played through injury. Carlos Narvaez got 4 votes, and Aroldis Chapman got 1 vote.
Mm-hmm.
He was not listed as one of the top 3. On that, he was an other selection, but I don't know. Do you guys agree that off-season acquisition of the year was definitely Garrett Crochet?
Yes, but also I think with Bregman, it's not. I think why the acquisition was so important isn't necessarily even like the numbers he had and the success he had. It was the culture change, and it was his leadership, the influence he has on those younger guys, working with Roman and Marcelo and Cedon and all that stuff, basically being the assistant manager and stuff. Like that's just as valuable to this team as what he's doing on the field. And I that deserves to be recognized, because like Bregman's been so awesome for them in the dugout and in the clubhouse.
Oh, yeah. When they were playing the Cardinals, I don't even think he was playing it. He had the iPad out. He's like, this guy's tipping his pitches. I know he throws 100, but – and then, like, by the second inning, I think the poor guy from the Cardinals gave him 8 runs. And it's like Bregman's like, no, this is what he's doing. This is what he's tipping his pitches. And they're like, oh, okay. And then, fireworks.
Poor Jordan Walker. Legend says that he is still mic'd up and in right field at Fenway Park. I think if this was ranked choice voting, I think Alex Bregman would have come in second. I think he was probably, if I had to guess, a lot of people's second choice.
Yeah.
I agree. It's Garrett Crochet. Again, they went 23-9 in games he started. And not even just replacing him with a pretty good pitcher. There were a lot of question marks about his ability to do this for the whole season.
Oh yeah.
If he was just like very good, he was elite. If he was just great, they probably win like 4 fewer games.
Yeah.
And that's enough to miss the playoffs. We'd be talking about friggin' Astros Yankees right now, which would be a 6 series, but I'd much rather Red Sox Yankees because Red Sox podcast. Anyway. Moving on from offseason acquisition of the year, we go to unsung hero pitcher edition. I don't remember who my options were. I think it was Giolito, Bayo, and Justin Wilson were my 3 that I put, plus other. According to the poll, the winner was Brian Bayo at 48.3% of the vote. Lucas Giolito came in second at 31%. Justin Wilson in third at 13.8%. Greg Weissert and Garrett Whitlock each got a vote. Hilarious that somebody voted for Greg Weissert. My guess is that was probably Greg Weissert. He obviously voted with his left arm because his right arm he can't fucking lift anymore. I'm shocked if somebody voted for Weissert. Nobody voted for Bernardino. He pitched.
That's kind of where I was about to go with it. Is that like I love Giolito and I love Bayo. I feel like both of them on the whole did kind of get their due throughout the year, and they were such key parts of this team. I mean, Bernardino was just forced to go out there every goddamn game during that like April through June stretch where he was pitching every single day, and somehow his arm didn't die. And he would have a meltdown every once in a while, but he was pitching every goddamn day, and they were asking so much of him. And he won them a hell of a lot more games than he cost them in those games.
Yep.
Like he was honestly the first guy who came in my mind reading
Mhm.
this. It's like I hope he is on the postseason roster just because it's like he deserves to be part of this thing after like what he endured at the beginning of the season to get them in this position.
Especially because I think he'll be a non-tender candidate. Like I don't think
I
they're going to
agree.
tender a deal. I mean, they have so many lefties. They have so many dudes they have to activate off the 60 day at the end of the season. So your pick would have been Bernardino,
I
Jack.
think so, yeah.
Brian, who would your unsung hero have been?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a kind of thing like unsung is probably the wrong word, but like, thank God they signed Chapman, right? Because remember, it's like Liam Hendricks is going to come in and he's going to be the closer. Like that was what we were sold, and that just never worked out. No matter how cool Liam Hendricks was, or how he said all these fun things while he was pitching, and he swore his head off, and he had an Australian accent, and everybody thought it was like a great story. They don't sign Chapman, they're fucked. Like, what? I
Yeah.
guess Whitlock would close, but then you got an even bigger hole in the bullpen.
Yeah, and
You know?
Slayton missed so much time.
Yeah, I mean, like Slayton was like, "Oh, well, he'll be fine," and he was not fine. And I don't know if he kind of figured it out a little bit at the end of the season, but like he's still not Slayton like he was, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they don't sign Chapman, it's like holy shit, you know. And then it was like, all right, he's gonna implode. He's gonna implode. I think he had that one game where we're like, okay, he's human, but then he's pretty much back on track after that, you know. And it was kind of like I love the stuff with like Narvaez, where it's like I told him not to throw a sinker with a splitter because it sucks. And then he's like, all right. And he worked on it. And then it was nasty, you know? And it's amazing that a guy who's, what is he, 37, 38 years old?
37.
All of a sudden now he's figuring out. Like you'd always throw gas, but like now, like the walks are what? Down by 50% or something insane.
Yeah, his walk rate plummeted this year.
Yeah. And it's just like, I can't imagine where this team would be without him as their closer.
Yeah, I'm in a tough spot here because I honestly, given the expectations entering the season, I want to give it to Justin Wilson, but he was so bad. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say bad. No, I'll say bad in September. He was not good. Not consistent. It felt like one outing he was really good, really locked in. His command was really good, and then another outing or two outings he was really bad. Obviously, he had the grand slam in that Toronto series to Dalton Varsho. I will never forgive you for that. That is inexcusable behavior on your part. Even though Varsho's got pop left on left, his OBP is under 300. I don't know how on earth you threw him a cookie. That's insane. Only way he could beat you is over the fence. Right. So I'm actually going to go with Jack here, and I'm going to pick Bernardino. He'd be my guy. I love Bernie. I feel really bad for him that he, kind of gets treated the way he's been treated, not just by the fans, but also by the team. They kind of use him as disposable, and he's really not. He's a very valuable pitcher. They use him like he is. Every time he's in the big leagues, he is pitching. Like he doesn't get called up. He doesn't get called up and then just rot in the bullpen to hold a spot and pitch in garbage time. Like he gets called up, and Cora's like, Juan Soto's due up. Like I know Justin Wilson's been in the majors all year, and he's like, we signed him to a contract this offseason. He throws 97, but like Bernie, welcome back from AAA, buddy. Go get Juan Soto.
How many starts? How many starts did he have this year? Like at least what, 2 or 3, right?
I think 3.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They're asking him to do everything.
Yeah, he opens. He's got a save this year.
Oh.
Like he's done everything. I will miss him, unless they non-tender him and bring him back. But I think somebody's going to give him a major league deal, and he deserves it. Somebody will give him a major league deal.
Yep.
Hopefully it's not the Tampa Bay Rays, but he screams Tampa Bay Ray. He screams Tampa Bay Ray that magically starts throwing 4 or 5 innings a pop and is like a 2.7 ERA. Like it'll piss me off. But yeah,
he'll go to the Dodgers. He'll watch and he'll be like, he'll win a Sang Award.
He'll be better than Tanner Scott because they'll get rewarded for overpaying a free agent reliever that we all wanted, but because
how about the best signing we didn't make?
Yeah, Tanner Scott.
Tanner Scott is right up there, right?
Yeah.
And then, who was the guy? I don't even know. How did he do at the end of the season? Jack Flaherty. Did he do anything, or did he? Was he okay?
He fizzled.
Okay, yeah, because people were hot on his trail for a minute too.
Yeah, he finished the year with a 4.64 ERA.
Yeah,
so
I think
better than Mueller, but like,
yeah,
I was better than Bueller this year. Not Philly's Bueller, because apparently he's figured it out. Because
It's so fake.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about Bueller. I'll get
But
mad.
we will. We're 2 categories away from talking.
We
about
are too. Somebody voted for Bobby Dahlbeck on that category. Anyway, unsung hero hitter. My options were Nathaniel Lowe because they brought him in after Toro completely fell off. I almost put Toro down for that, but then he was just so bad for so long I couldn't do it. Not in good faith. Carlos Narvaez, Romy Gonzalez were the 3 options. Romy was the overwhelming winner, 72.4%. Not super shocking there. Carlos Narvaez came in second at 20.7%. Nathaniel Lowe and Nate Eaton each got 1 vote. Not shocked that Eaton got 1. He had a really good September. I kind of thought Massa might get a vote in there because he was awesome in September as well, but I guess his overall numbers just weren't very good. So you couldn't vote for him. But Brian, who would you have given your unsung hitter or unsung hero hitter edition to? Who that vote have gone to?
I'd probably go with Romy. I mean, I love the the reaction from the media when he does something, and I think he had. Did Jaron have the longest home run? But I think Gonzalez was number 2. They were like 454 or something crazy.
Well, Rob ended up having the longest home run because he hit one like 460 in Sacramento.
That's what it was. Yeah. So he hit the furthest one, and then Duran. But I think Duran hit the furthest one at Fenway, maybe.
Yeah, they were one of them. It was between those 2, but it was like a foot apart. I don't remember.
Yeah. And I mean, that could have been, I don't know. But yeah, the ball that Rush Schneider hit in Sacramento when he hit the warehouse. Like, do you guys ever see those TikTok videos? The guy who uses like the aluminum bats, and he's like, I can hit and he hits the ball like almost like 500 feet. It's like
the
that's what it looked like.
I think.
Yeah, that's what it looked like when Rush Schneider hit that ball.
Yeah, off Jeffrey Springs.
That was awesome.
So
couldn't happen to a nicer guy too than Jeffrey Springs.
Yeah, I go with Gonzalez. Though. I mean, what he's been able to do is just like it's been amazing.
Yeah, him emerging as a not a platoon guy, it was gigantic. Jack, who would you have given it to?
Okay, before I give my actual answer, I do feel like it's been a while since we've talked on here about how fucking cool Carlos Narvaez is, and I feel like we have to because there's no one else at that position on this entire organization. If you had not gotten Carlos Narvaez and then have him turn out to be an above average catcher, oh my God. Like, if you had Connor Wong and Sable and Zavala and God knows what, oh my God. Like, talk about without Crochet, this team doesn't make the playoffs. Without Narvaez, they might have a losing record. Like, I hate to sound dramatic, but it's quite possible.
No, you're probably right.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
All that being said, I've got to go with Nate Eaton. It is so dumb that Nate Eaton just decided he was going to be really good at baseball. Like, it is so stupid. And I was having a blast with it. This guy hit 296 this season. He was stealing bases. He should have had that walk-off, but they feared Colton Cowser's arm too much and didn't send him on that one. Nate Eaton is so much fun. If this is the end of Rob, who I obviously love, on my Mount Rushmore of human beings, if Rob retires after this year, I am so ready for the Nate Eaton era as new Rob, fast Rob. And
it's going to be more speed, so it's Cora's guy.
Yeah. And I love the Nate Eaton era, and I have a feeling he's going to come up with a big moment in this playoff run.
That'd be very interesting. It probably would have to be. You know what? You're probably right. It will not be. It'll be like a diving catch, like as a late.
Yeah.
A late game.
Or like he'll steal a base that ends up mattering. Like there's gonna be a Nate Eaton moment.
Yeah. No, I can see the vision there. To your point about the Red Sox record, if not for Carlos Narvaez, can you guys guess what the Red Sox win-loss was in games he played? Played 118 games. So I'm not going to count. I'm not going to say just starts. Games he played in. Played 118.
Well, hold on. Let me.
It's better than you think. I promise you. Like,
Oh, I agree. Well, I'm just trying to figure out what was their win percentage was 549. I'll say they had like a 700 win percentage in NARV games.
you're gonna make me do math. You're an asshole. Give me a sec. You said 700.
Yeah.
Not quite. Not quite, but it was damn good. I'll tell you that. They went 70-48 with him as when he played.
Yeah.
Um, now Grant. Okay, so let me do some math here again. Whoops, that's no. Their win percentage was 62.6% when he started. They were 67-40 when he started. You were 100% right, which is why I thought you were gonna like there was kind of a punchline to the I'm gonna talk about Narv and then give my real vote. I thought it was gonna end up being Narvaez. For me, it is Narvaez, not just because of how he played, or just because of like the lack of depth at the position. Like who knows if Connor Wong doesn't break his hand in April, like maybe Connor ends up salvaging the year, has like an okay season, and we're like the Red Sox end up still being a good team. Who knows? I don't want to. I mean, probably not. But I don't know. Maybe he does. But Carlos Narvaez had to mature very quickly at the major league level because Wong broke his hand in like the second or third week of the season. He had to start basically every single game for the next month and a half, except for like the few times we saw Blake Sable, and then we really didn't want to see any more of those than we had to.
No.
One game was too many Blake Sable games.
One inning.
One inning was too many. One throw back to the pitcher was too many. It was too much Blake Sable. The unsung hero of this team for me is Carlos Narvaez, pretty like comfortably. Again, they went 68-40 when he started. That is nuts. That is nuts. Ridiculous. And he like led the league in caught stealing for catchers, which I think is a lot of the time that's on the pitcher, whether or not a guy steals a base. But like to catch a lot of guys stealing, the Red Sox aren't fast to the plate. No pitcher really is. No good pitcher is. Narvaez, cut down the most runners, and it wasn't just caught stealing. Like he backpicked so many guys throughout the year. Obviously, there were some catcher's interferences. You kind of live with that for a guy who's as good at framing as he is. But he also seemed to always make up for it in the end. Like even in that Phillies series where they got walked off on a catcher's interference, and then he had another one on Sunday Night Baseball. He hit the kill shot in extra innings for a home run. So he had plenty of kill shots throughout the season. Had a walk off against the Yankees as well. I could see him having a big game in this series. So now we can talk about Walker Buehler. Biggest disappointment of the season. My three choices that I listed were Walker Buehler, Christian Campbell, and Tristan Casas. Casas feels kind of like low-hanging fruit because of the injury. Who knows what his season would have been like. But overwhelming majority of votes went to Walker Buehler. Second was Tristan Casas, and then third was Christian Campbell. One person voted for Bobby Dahlbeck, LOL, I guess. And then one person put not enough added at the deadline. I was thinking more along the lines of a player, but I can vouch for that. I mean, it's definitely a fair biggest disappointment of the season. Joe Ryan was a very huge Red Sox disappointment. He was only a Sox for fucking 45 seconds. I'll give my biggest disappointment very clearly Walker Buehler. That was a mess. He was okay before getting hurt. Like he had a couple like funny good starts. Like he lit up the Phillies. That was hilarious. Also pitched really well against San Diego. Like he just needed to be in the National League because now his ERA with the Phillies is 0.66, which makes me want to like fucking rip the remainder of my hair out. And there's not a lot of it. So I really cherish the hair that I still have left. But for me, it's Walker Buehler, like far and away. Brian, who do you have as your biggest disappointment?
I mean, I was talking to somebody about this earlier. My biggest disappointment, unfortunately, is nothing you could do about it. But it was like, can you imagine if Devers was like, yeah, I'll play first? I'm just saying, like,
nobody voted for Raffy, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's a real answer.
Like, oh my God, can you imagine if he was like, yeah, you know what? I'll play first and I'll just DH next year, like you guys told me to. But I don't mind playing first this year. because, I know Costas got hurt, but, like he could have been, they told me they want me to be the DH. I'll be the DH. Maybe I'll DH a little bit. He's like, but I'll play first just to help the team out because I really like it here, and they gave me a bunch of money, and, Cora, and I talked with the owner, and I think it's a good idea. Like, I know that, like, then he went to, like, San Francisco and he shit the bed, and then he was hot again, then he shit the bed again and whatever, but not that Lowe and Gonzalez and all these other guys at first base haven't worked out fantastically, but if you just added a 30 home run, 100 RBI guy to our lineup right now, along with a healthy Anthony, I mean, with our pitching, the Yankees didn't stand a chance. You'd walk over Toronto and then play in Seattle. I'd be like, yeah, I know they got Kirby and all these guys, and they got Wu-Tang and everybody, but like, I don't care. Like, I think it'd just be such a different team.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that when I was putting the poll together, but then once I hit submit on once I posted it, I'm like, Rafi might win that as a write-in. Because really, like now that I want to change, I'm going to change my vote. I actually am going. I am mad at Craig Breslow for trading him. They will never make me hate Rafi. I love Rafi. I hope he has a great career for the Giants. Him, like, we talked about how bad Massa was. We know he's a slow starter. Obviously, that trend continued this year, and he was great in September, and hopefully going to be great in October.
Yeah.
Imagine if Massa got to suck in June instead of come back in July. Like, who knows what the deadline looks like if Devers is part of the equation and he's like actually on the team. Like, Duran might have gotten moved. And I'm not saying that they would have been better off trading Jaron than they were by trading Rafi. I mean, I think as far as return goes, probably would have been. I'm changing my answer to Devers though, because that it shows the kind of leadership that, like, again, why Alex Bregman should have gotten more love for off-season acquisition of the year, because if he wasn't around and they traded Devers, they would have been fucked. They would have been so fucked. And he didn't even play for another month after that trade. The locker room would have been screwed.
I still think Jordan. I think Alex didn't like Devers, and he brought in Bregman and said he's going to play second base, and they never had any intention of him ever playing second base. But they had to say that after they signed him to buy him more time to try and get the best deal for Devers. And then Major League Baseball knew, oh, you want to get rid of this guy? We'll give you dog shit. And then the Cardinals just gave him the best version of dog shit, and they took it. Or whoever, San Francisco, I'm sorry. But, like, it's still pennies on the dollar, and you're praying that, like, Kyle Harrison works out, or, I mean, Hicks is a fucking dumpster fire. But, like, you're never, ever going to get even remotely close value-wise when everybody knows you want to move a guy. It never ever works out good. It was a salary dump, plain and simple, and it really sucks because, like, I don't know if you could have been like, hey, listen, we want to bring Bregman in, we want you to play DH, and then as soon as Costas got hurt, it's like, hey, they could have, like, you swallow your pride a little bit, you're like, we're really sorry, we really want you to play first base, and anything we can do, it's only going to be for 1 year. And they just didn't. I don't know if they didn't handle it correctly, or Devers was just like, no, fuck you guys, I want to play third base. But if he thinks he's better than Bregman, I mean, he's out of his fucking mind defensively, I mean, he's not that close.
The one thing I will say in Rafi's defense is he was consistently ranked above Bregman as a third baseman, including the defense. So I can get why he'd be like, why am I being replaced by someone I'm better than? Right. But yeah, the first base thing, like, in retrospect, I still think it's kind of funny. Like, I'm not in the locker room, so it didn't piss me off because I'm not Tristan Casas' teammate. Yep. But, like, when he basically said it's not my fucking problem that his knee exploded on impact last night, that's kind of, like, it's a horrible thing to say. Yeah. But, like, kind of fucking funny at the same time. But yeah, no. Anyway, Jack, I completely, like, not let you speak. Who's your biggest disappointment of 2025?
I'm gonna opt out of my contract and start exploring the other side.
All right, Pete Alonso.
That might let me speak. But
Alonso to the Red Sox. I like it. All right, make it happen.
Yeah. But the Devers point is, I mean, yeah, if you put Devers in this lineup, I'd feel so confident you're going to the World Series. But you guys have exhausted that. I'll throw out a different one because, let's keep it fun, keep it interesting.
Jordan Hicks.
holy shit, was Connor Wong bad this year? Like, I've never been a Connor Wong guy by any means, but it always was funny that he was the last man standing from the Betts trade, because like he was kind of like the throw in where like Verdugo was like, very hyped, and then Jeter Downs was like a top 20, 25 prospect at the time. Connor Wong was like just a guy.
Yep.
And he somehow outlasted those other guys. I mean, Jeter Downs is fucking playing international ball, and nobody wants Verdugo. But wow, was Connor Wong bad this year? Like, the defense was weirdly better than usual, but like, what did it? Yeah, WRC plus of 39 at year end, and it was much worse than that for most of it.
He won a mini run for him. A run
like
for himself.
getting that WRC plus up to 39 after last year, him having a 112 WRC plus, that's not who Connor Wong is.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Connor Wong wants to be 12% better than league average, by all means, that was great. To be this version of the guy who was completely useless, like, holy shit. And like, once again, that's why getting Narvaez was huge, because if this guy was your primary catcher with those numbers, and granted, as Jordan said, maybe there's a version of this where he doesn't break his hands and the truth of his performance is somewhere between what he did this year and what he did last year. And he's like, 80 WRC plus guy, and he's playing better defense than he played last year. And like, it would be kind of salvageable. There's nothing salvageable about this. And I hate that he's going to be playing in game 2, because as much as I do have the confidence in Bayo, and I know we can't run Narv into the ground as much as we were trying mid-season to do so, like, I don't want Connor Wong with meaningful at-bats in the playoffs. I'm going to be stressed out seeing like runners on second and third with 2 out and having him flail. It's going to be it's going to drive me insane. Now, granted, if it's a home run in game 2, I'll go fucking ape shit and get like Wong number 12 tattooed on my forehead.
Clip that.
So,
Book it.
like,
I think it's legally binding, because it is going to be posted on the internet. So
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but yeah, just wow, what a terrible season from Connor Wong. Please do not do this again if you're still on this team next year, which I have no idea if you will be, but I can't do another year of this version of Connor Wong.
Yeah, Wong kind of gets saved by his PR team deciding that September was when we were going to mention that he saved Aroldis Chapman's career, essentially.
Yeah.
Which, hilarious if that's even true. Yeah, I actually am shocked nobody voted for Connor Wong. I guess maybe because Narvaez was so good, so it kind of was like we didn't think Narvaez was going to be very good offensively, and he'd be the backup. Instead, it just ended up being him being the starter, and Wong was the backup. Yeah.
Thank you, Yankees, for keep giving us these guys that, him and Whitlock. Like, I mean, can you imagine where we'd be without either of those guys right now?
Yeah, seriously. The last question I put on here was just your favorite moment of the 2025 season. I left it as a short answer question. I'm not going to try and do math here. Most of the people said Cedon's walk-off against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, it gave us the best Obi call, maybe, other than David Ortiz, like, of his Red Sox career. Like, I'm not joking. I really do think that might have been like top 2 call of Obi's Red Sox broadcasting career. It was that good. I agree. Cedon's walk-off against the Rays, although like 1B is the walk-off to get them to the postseason as well. Like Cedon in the greens basically was the moment of the year, because he delivered 2 of the biggest swings of the entire 2025 season. Jack, what's your moment of 2025?
I mean, obviously that Cedon one comes to mind. I'm like rattling through my brain. The Roman bat flip against the Yankees has to be very up there, and just like, okay, we're fucking back. I'm trying to think, because the Narvaez walk off against the Yankees was also a great one. Because obviously, like, that game was back and forth, and then Crochet was dominant, and Judge hits the home run, and then Narv walks it off anyways and kind of bails them out of the Judge home run. The Story stupid home run and 0 out of 30 ballparks. Like, this is a damn fun season. Like I'm grateful that like it was fun watching the Red Sox every night because like it's been so like we're gonna go 81 and 81, we're gonna go 80 and 82, 79 and 83. Like this is just who we are, and this sucks. And like it hasn't been fun since 21. And this year I was like, I'm excited to like get home and throw on the game because like even when they lose on the whole, it was like there's stuff worth watching.
Yeah, I'm with you. There were a lot of moments to choose from. It's kind of hard to kind of pigeonhole one and be like, that's definitely the moment. I am a sucker for broadcasting, so OB's call in that game just stands out. Brian, what's your moment of 2025 or moments? You can fuck it.
Well,
you free reign.
Yeah, the Sadan home runs, I think for me are the highlight. I think the Anthony Babb flip, that was right up there too. But for me, I like the young kids pitching, like the two starts, the opening starts for Kylie Early and Peyton Tolley. I mean, poor Greg Weissert, had to fucking ruin that. But but those two guys, when they came up, it was like, holy shit. Like you were at the Peyton Tolley game, right? And I mean, it must have been fucking crazy. Like you're like, okay, he's a rookie. Okay, like holy shit. Okay, and then he just kept going and going and going. And then Early struck out 11 guys.
Yeah,
Rookies don't do that. Like rookies come up, they have 1 or 2 innings, and then they get fucking blasted. You're like, well, he's a rookie, he's working on stuff, and totally, his next couple starts, maybe come back down to earth a little bit. But those first 2 starts, it was like, it's the Red Sox have starting pitching that they've developed from the minors. Holy shit. Like this is fucking Mars, right? Like this doesn't happen to the Red Sox ever.
yeah.
And to me, that was just so cool to see.
Yeah, there was so much to love about this season. I think like they had so many different games where they drove in. They had 6+ in an inning. I think they led the league in 6+ runs in an inning. The sort of Jekyll and Hyde-ness of Red Sox Twitter this season with Pete Fatsy and Andrew Bailey specifically, just those two, like they rounded into being a top 10 offense and a top 10 pitching staff, and they traded Devers midseason, and Bregman missed 2 months, and Roman missed a month plus didn't play till June to begin with. Like there was so much happened over the course of 162. Also underrated Hogdale's rise to fame in 2025. Got out of Hogdale. I mean, it kind of started last year where he was starting to pick up some serious steam on Red Sox Twitter. But like again, it's always nice when the right people get some notoriety. Like Hogdale 100% deserves this. Could not think of somebody better to receive this kind of fame. So funny to me that he's like not well known in his small town in Iowa, but he's like the fucking man in Boston. Like you're probably you ask some random Bostonian who's that guy, you're probably, or you ask him to pick or show them Hogdale, you show them Michelle Wu, you're like, who do you recognize here? And they're gonna pick Hogdale. Hogdale is that famous in Boston, more famous than the mayor.
He needs to parlay that into some NESN thing or something, or
the FCC
be on Section 10 more often, or something. He's got to figure it out because I think that he has a lot to offer, and I can't imagine that him living in Iowa is going to be a thing long term. I just don't see that.
Yeah, he.
Not to out him. I mean, people know he's from Iowa, but I mean,
it's well known. I'm not.
It's well known. I'm not dropping any.
And now Brian's gonna say his home address.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I say my home address is Wrigley Field, and people will go drive and see if I'm there. But yeah. I mean, I think that if he comes to the Boston area, I mean, I see dollar signs. He can monetize that like nobody's business, and it's just a matter of time.
Get him on unobstructed views.
I'm serious. Like, not, people like, oh, that. I'm like, no, he could definitely do that. And I think, the Red Sox fans were very, very unique. I mean, like you look at like Sox prospects, like religiously, like I do. Other teams don't have that. You look at the other teams in Major League Baseball, they don't have that type of in-depth coverage about minor league guys and A-ball and AA. It just doesn't happen. And you don't have guys like Hogdale either, like for these random fan bases, you do for a handful, but it's different here. And it's really interesting when you have people from Iowa, people from Florida, people from North Dakota. It's like, why are you a Red Sox fan? And they'll tell you like, oh, well, I watched the All-Star game in 1999 and it was cool and Pedro was on the team. And then, that's why they're Red Sox fans. And they go to Fenway once every 5 years because they don't even live here. Like that doesn't happen at other parks.
Yeah. It's one of the beauties of being a fan of this team is kind of meeting people and learning their story of how they became a fan of this team. And it's like every story is so unique. It's great. And when the Red Sox are good, it's even better. And again, we got playoff baseball.
Yep.
That's by tomorrow, man, or I guess today. Again, I keep making the mistake. It's almost today for us recording this. So we're gonna quickly just give our prediction for how we think this series is going to go. I will kick it to Jack. How does this series shake out? Do we have an LCS preview coming up? Or LDS?
You gotta do LDS first.
LDS first. Dude, it's late. It's late.
No, I had Bill Belichick coaching my football team for most of my life. I know you got to take it one round at a time. You can't look ahead on the schedule. But I think the Sox are going to sweep. I think they need to. I think if they lose tonight, since this is going up on Tuesday, they lose game one with Crochet on the mound. I don't see them winning 2 in a row at Yankee Stadium to do it. You have to win game one. And I feel confident with Bayo in game 2. And he's been good against the Yankees this year. And Rodon's had some struggles against the Sox in the past. They're going to have Rob. They're going to have Romy. They're going to have the lefty Slayers good to go. Let's just take care of business. Don't even worry about a Connolly early start. We can wait till Toronto for that to happen. And hopefully Giolito's good to go. And then if he's healthy and Early's locked in, I'm ready for duck boats. If I don't get it, I couldn't go to the Celtics parade. I was in California when the Celtics won the championship. So I haven't had a parade since the pandemic. That needs to change, and it's going to change this. I'm getting a November parade.
Same. My last parade was the 2018 Red Sox parade when Sandy Leone dumped beer on my head. That was fun. Anyway. Brian, how does this series shake out? Do we have another podcast next weekend?
I sure hope so. Playoff podcasts are so much better than regular season podcasts. They got to win tomorrow. They got to win the first game, and then the second game. You don't have to win it, but it'd be nice because you don't have to worry about game 3. And then, like I said, you give more time for Giolito. Maybe he just felt something. Maybe he just. You can give him a PRP and I don't know, do something, I mean, I would just dope him up with lidocaine and just say, suck it up, and we're getting through the playoffs, I don't know. You can figure something out.
He'd probably be game for that, although it would be very bad for him.
Well, you know what? I mean, pain is temporary and glory is forever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, he could win a World Series and blow his arm out. I remember Kurt Laskanik pitching for the Red Sox being like, the guy's arm is held together by duct tape. Brett Saberhagen pitched in 1995, and he legit had like fishing wire in his arm, and somehow he won 15 games that year. Like these guys do fucked up things, Steve Yzerman cut 2 inches off of his leg because he wanted to play hockey. Like it's like these guys do things that are unspeakable. So hey, you know what? If he's going to make some sacrifices for his long-term health, I mean, hey, whatever. He'd probably make a great podcaster, But if he won a title, I mean, I bet you he'd do it.
Kurt Laskanik did not pitch again after 2004.
Nope.
Last year in the league.
Oh, because he pitched like 7 innings in like an extra inning game for the Red Sox against the Yankees. They had like one of those 14, 15 inning games, and the guy pitched like, I don't know, like 80 pitches out of the bullpen. I was like, what is going on here?
His nickname, according to Baseball Reference, was Let's Panic.
Okay.
That's fucking a terrible nickname for a reliever.
Yeah, we got to work on
Justin Wilson having, I can't remember the song title, but I'm Just a Sucker for Pain as his entry song.
Okay.
Like, really cast a bad omen over your own outing. I mean, he was good enough this year to, I guess, have that be funny and not but whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your official prediction? You have them sweeping as well?
Yeah. Just you got to. I mean, like realistically, they probably win the first game, lose the second game, and then you fucking pray they win the third game. But I'm going to be optimistic and say they win 2 in a row, and we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna run the risk here of being the Fox panel, and I'm also gonna say the Red Sox sweep the series. I do not think there's really a snowball's chance in hell they lose game 2, and I guess
Okay.
I really am being an asshole about it.
You know what, Jordan? I think you've earned it. You've done a great job this year. As the boss of the podcast. And if you want to be an asshole, you've earned that right. And I think that I can speak for everybody involved that you've done a fantastic job this year, and you can do whatever you want.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Don't give me too much power.
You know what, though?
Last thing in the world is me being
I throw the compliments your way, and it doesn't seem to ever go to your head because you don't seem to. The ego hasn't got bigger. You've actually shrunk in size since the beginning of the year.
That is true.
With all the compliments, so maybe more compliments, maybe even get thinner. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear that compliments actually are negative calories. So I can.
Okay, yeah, then we'll just keep throwing them at you. Then I mean, it's going to be nonstop.
It's helping my diet.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we got to help you out. Whatever we can do.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think the Sox end up sweeping the series. Why start now with predicting that they lose a crochet start? And if I'm so confident that Bayo is going to shove in game 2, then of course they're going to fucking win. And if the Yankees, they are so touch and feel. You win game 1, you score a run or 2 in the first inning of game 2. That team is dead. Yep. They are dead.
Yep.
This is gonna get absolutely. I'm gonna get destroyed for this if I'm wrong here. But again, I don't think they lose game 2, and I will never pick against Crochet. I just won't do it. The only shot that there was of me ever picking against Crochet was maybe against Tarek Skubal, maybe, and even then probably not. But that again. So we all have the Sox sweeping. So place your bets accordingly. This is not a betting podcast. We are not liable for any financial decisions you make. But yeah, we all have the Sox sweeping. Any last thoughts before we wrap this up? It is 11:30 Eastern time, so almost.
It's past your bedtime, Jordan.
It is. I should have gone to bed an hour ago. No, all right, yeah. Y'all took the words right out of my mouth. Anyway, so welcome back to postseason baseball for the Boston Red Sox. This has been episode 528 of the Pesky Report, presented by Beyond the Monster. For Jack and Brian, I'm Jordan. Until next time, peace out. Go Sox.